Hey guys, this is Lucid. We're jumping back into Bumble Rumble, and in terms of game time, it's actually been a long time. It's been, I think, almost 2 weeks. There was another patch that had broken some of the scripted spellcasting, like even Divine Blessing wouldn't go off if the army you were fighting was perceived to be weaker than yours. And this was also happening if you were fighting like a fully geared super combatant, so it's kind of weird. Anyway, the bug has finally been fixed, so for those of you who are pretty familiar with the patches, that will let you know just how long ago that I'm recording this, compared to when you're going to listen to it. I imagine it's almost going to be like half a year, given my upload schedule. Because I'm on episode, God, I don't even know, like 100? Almost? No, not 100, probably like 70, 80. And yeah, we're on turn 104, so let's get into it. I think around 70. Now, aside from the patch hitting, and the patch hit at the end of, like, I got this turn pre-patch, and then there might have also been some bugs with, because I've been bitching about some spells not going off. I haven't exactly recreated them and posted them in the bug forum, but I did post something about with the super combatants and not going off, but it may be that this issue stretches back a little farther. Maybe it has something to do, maybe it was even in there with the Serpent's Blessing not going off that crippled my whole army. Okay, so we have a dire portent first thing. Tianchi has cast Gift of Health, so he has stolen it back from Pythium. So that's actually pretty important. This means that he's going to have a big leg up in a war against Pythium. We blocked a hostile spell. We were attacked here. So he's casting, I guess he's trying to catch my god. I'm not sure who he's trying to catch, but, let's just see how close this was. Okay. I think Home Slice had it. Let's see water, yeah, okay. I wonder if I hit him on conservative gym use, because he... Yeah, I don't know. I probably need to take him off if they're going to be getting hit with assassination attempts. Okay, we had an Ashen Angel kill a Necromancer, which is a little wasteful. Kill this horror-marked Necromancer, okay. My volume's a little loud, let me turn it down. We cast Arouse Hunger. I think we actually got that province with Arouse Hunger for free. I don't think he put any PD there. Astral Window, Curse of Blood, Teleport. An Earth Elemental attacks this guy. So this is a spell... Whoops. This is a spell called... oh wait, what is it called? Ghost Riders, I think, and it's a Wraith Lord with a bunch of skeleton horsemen. Now this guy is immortal, which unfortunately means he's not going to rout like most people do. So it's going to take a very dedicated effort to rout him. Now he's not going to heal though, so he's running out of time, but he could potentially kill this commander. He's probably not going to kill my mage back here. And we do have Horde of Skeletons, okay, so he dies. So anyway, but this is actually a kind of good spell. We'll look at it up real quick. It's a little hard to cast. It requires you to be Death 6, which is pretty hard. That's the hardest part. It's only 5 Death Gems, but if you have a Death 6 guy, these are pretty good. They also will typically burn gems, so... and it's a horror attack, so I believe it can give you potentially 2 gem burning attacks on a province, which, oh god, do I hate. But anyway, it's not the game as you want it to be, it's the game as it is. Which honestly, a gem burning, I mean, we have my temporary gem mod on, so in theory, in honesty, you can get around it by putting the gem generating items on your guys. So there goes Mass Enslave. And this is... Okay, we're gonna watch that again. This is like you always imagined Mass Enslave would be. and how it never is. But we're such a powerful caster, and we have such a large amount of penetration, magic penetration that is. It's gonna just nuke the shit out of this army, watch this. Now, I was expecting there'd be a bunch of mages, because there were the turn before, but it doesn't turn out that it went that way. Okay. So yeah, we killed an Uba, but that was it, which kind of sucks a lot. But he did a big PD dump, and then he had these guys patrolling, presumably to deal with some water elemental assassin that water elemental thug that I sent in. And a lot of what we're going to talk about is I'm actually going to pull up the real in-game Diplo with Shinuyama, because Shinuyama and I finally had a diplomacy breakthrough, which I find somewhat surprising. Blood economy, we're up to low, probably what? Let's actually see. We've got, let's call this 40, 60, 65, and then we'll call it 100. Yeah, we're right around 100. We had a few more assassination attempts, which is, where are these? Okay, so he's making it so that I need to patrol, and then when I patrol, he potentially can kill who I'm patrolling with. So anyway. Is he putting gear on these guys? The thing is, if you put gear, then I can mind hunt them. I used to do water elemental assassins, what a fucker. Champion Strident. Trying to water elemental assassin Atlantis. Okay. So important guys we need to put... I mean, honestly... Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, on one hand we could mind hunt them. And that's probably the play here. These guys are really low MR. Anyway, so we'll have to figure out what we do there. And as you can tell, I haven't really played this turn yet. I got 3 hours till I have to turn it in, so I kind of got to get on it. We're probably not going to spend 3 hours here playing with it, but... okay, we managed to kill this guy, which I guess he's pinging that this is that same province. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, he's just pinging this one. Let's see if this guy was set up to burn gems. Yeah, he hit a bunch of random shit just to burn gems. Okay. That was that one. Here's his Tartarian. Let's see who he's got coming in here. We always have our various options to deal with him. This guy's got a Demon Bane, Shade Mail. So he's probably going to be sneaking away. He's going to be reasonably resistant to Mind Hunt, but not that resistance. 21 is enough. I can get through that. Not sure how we're gonna deal with him though, because Pythium also probably is gonna have stealthy astral guys running around with him. If he's got this figured out. Now he also moved this underwater. And I just find this absolutely hilarious. Not Pythium, Shinuyama. Yeah, almost, buddy. Had like 4 guys patrolling. I didn't even have anything patrolling, it didn't work. Oh god. So yeah, let's just write this up as a massive failure. Fortunately we got a Ring of Returning and an Armor of Knights, which, pretty happy about that. Okay, this was us trying to exit the fort. We get some of our commanders out, but our scouts died. TNG is going to take that fort, obviously, this turn. I think I meant to nuke the army, but I didn't. He's probably going to... So here's him taking the fort. Vanarus attacking Relay. I believe this is in... Oh yeah, this is for the Phaeacian capital. Okay, 400 gold from Celestial Rainbow. And we broke 2 forts of relays, so anyway, we're gonna storm this here. Now, I think I already went... So the first thing we have to talk about is diplomacy, and I'm gonna pause it real quick and pull up Diplo. Okay, and I'm back. So, I basically just talked with the Shinuyama player, and he didn't want me to put the Discord up directly. I think he said he was uncomfortable with his bad grammar and stuff going up, but he's probably just uncomfortable with some of the discussions we had, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I do want to respect that, because I could totally understand people not wanting to have like private conversations put up on Discord. I mean, put up on YouTube. So, but I will summarize it, because it's important to understand how the game goes. So Shinuyama and I have made peace, and I've been kind of trolling him in the game forum, where I'm like, I posted some image. Oh god, let me see if I can find it. Okay, this was an image that I posted to Discord, and I was like, this is what it feels like to be a Kappa, which are, funnily enough, the Shinuyama little underwater troops, or Kopos. But, wait a minute, feels like something's wrong. Shut up, you morons. Do as you've been told, it's for your own good. And, yeah, we have lemmings going off a cliff, because that's basically, if we go back to the game, that has been basically what's been happening all along this border, is just mass... Is it Kopo or Kappa? It's been mass genocide of Kappas. Yeah, it's been Kappa genocide. Kappacide. So, yeah. Anyway, I've been kind of making gestures about that, and it is actually crazy that he was fighting me. And the fact that we diploed out, part of it is I had kind of burnt this bridge with him too, and that I was like, I'm gonna attack you once I'm done with Relay. Because the reason I said that is because I don't really trust a neighbor that doesn't behave at all predictably. Like, if you just attack me for no reason, and you don't have any good reason to attack me, then, like, I don't want to make peace again with somebody who's completely unpredictable. Most people behave rationally. Like, and by that I mean, like, it's pretty easy to understand what their moves are. Now, the Shinuyama will say that they behave rationally, and that their rational behavior was that they were preventing me from winning. Which is fine if it's true, but it's just not true. Like, they're not preventing me from winning, they're costing both of us. The reason they're not preventing me from winning is because I'm not terribly close to winning. I'm losing ground over on this front. Well, kind of, if you don't take into account that Pythium's doing pretty bad in the raiding war, but I've lost a fort over here. I'm probably going to continue losing more. I probably need to go ahead and destroy some of these, but we'll have to figure that out. If I get the horror harmonica, I might be able to turn around the front on this. But yeah, so I'm not terribly close to winning, and what he's really doing is I'm actually having to spend a significant portion of my resources fighting him, which would otherwise be resources that would be poured not into aggressing and gaining ground on TNG and Pythium, but on defending. And what he's really doing is, like, if you look at his state in the game, he has 2 very large land neighbors, which are the 2 biggest land neighbors on the map, which is a really bad situation to be in. Like, you do not want to be pinned up against 2 people who are bigger than you, and for those to be your only neighbors. Like, that is really bad. So it's a bad situation. But if you're in that position, you desperately want to weaken one of your large land neighbors. Like, desperately. Because the only way you're going to win is by gaining ground on them. But what he's doing instead is he's enabling them, like, he's going to lower their attrition through fighting me, because I'm going to be able to pour less resources into defending against them. And if he does it, the better he does at that, so that, like, let's say I start losing ground, well, the more he does that, the stronger they're going to get, which makes his position in the game even worse. So, but the thing that makes this thing irrational is when presented with the facts that I'm nowhere within 30 turns of a throne victory, and with the fact that he's making a very bad diplomatic decision, he continues attacking me anyway. So, anyway. But I've kind of burnt that bridge. But I was like, this is such a costly... For me having to put so much resources on this border, and like for me having to commit my god now to this border, it's going to mean that I more decisively lose this war against Tianqi up here, which I don't really want to do. So I'm like, okay, we don't have to, but I really do want to make peace. So the proposition I came to him with was, I give you this province and this one. I didn't want to give this one because it's got a 2 pearl site in it, which I really care about pearls. So I'm going to give him these 2. And I'm going to allow him to take these 2, which presumably he would kind of get anyway. So that's a little bit of an empty gift. But anyway, so he gets these 2. He gets to keep this one. He stipulated it, and we argued about this one for a long time. But anyway, I'm going to end up giving this to him. I'm going to get this back, but I'm going to pay him for the Kelp Fortress he put up, which, honestly, like, I would get it anyway. There's nothing, with this army here, there's nothing he could do to stop me. Especially with having my god present to enslave all of his guys. So in some ways, I kind of wanted to actually have that fight. But I would rather not waste gems, kind of, actually, and just get Arcane Nexus up again. So, anyway. Yeah, we're gonna siege this down. I mean, we're gonna go ahead and take this back from him. I'm gonna send him 40 nature gems. But the main part... Actually, one second. Okay, sorry, I'm back. Yeah, so this fort we were gonna get anyway. So I thought this was, like, what I offered, I think, was pretty generous, giving him this without contest, because I was gonna fuck with his army when it moved here. I mean, in the long run, I'm sure he would have gotten it, but... and then paying him for this fort, which I would otherwise get for free. I mean, not for free, I would have spent some gems taking it, but there's no way he would have been able to hold this fort from me. But anyway, I thought this was extremely generous, offering to pay, but the fact that he wanted this too, and so we squabbled over this for a little bit. And at both points we kind of threatened to walk away from the deal. Because I'm like, look, if you want this too, then you don't really understand how good of a deal I've given you by letting you keep this throne underwater, which I really want. Mostly for the conjuration bonus, but anyway. Presumably, some of his summons are tied here too, like maybe if he has Wraith Lords or something, they might be tied up in here too. I think you can cast Wraith Lords underwater. I'm pretty sure you can. So, but anyway, yeah, so we settled on him taking this. Now, he had a negotiating chip that I kind of didn't really want to recognize, but which I ended up. And that was, basically, it was a little bit like, I don't want to say blackmail, but he knew, like, the war was costing me, and, like, that was pretty clear. So it was not a war which, like, before, at the very beginning, when Kappas were just, like, getting suicided, it didn't really cost me anything. Not at all. So, yeah. We just... I was basically just taking items off of him. But now I'm having to spend a lot of water gems, I'm having to spend a lot of battlefield buffs, because I don't have enough stuff to go around everywhere. I've kind of been losing mages periodically. I've had a few forts that I've tried to construct that have been knocked down. Like, it's definitely cost me. In some ways, it's been my most costly war. So that's kind of an important factor. The other thing, and that will get me to come to the negotiating table. The other thing is, and I don't know if he knew this, but I kind of put this up here. I was like, look, honestly, like, this is going to go on forever between us without anybody getting ahead, because you're not going to gain any ground underwater, and I don't really want to go on land, because if I win, then TNG or Pythium will just take you from me, like your land from me, because I can't really hold... It's very difficult for me to hold stuff on land from them. With how the game is right now. I have too many fronts in many ways, so... I was like, I don't really want to try to conquer you on land, and you cannot, as you have very clearly proven, hold anything from me underwater. So it's not going to resolve, it's just going to go on. He's like, well, I'm not going to win anyway, so I'm fine with it just going like that. Like, I'm learning stuff from just playing against you late game. I'm like, look, man, like, if I can't appeal to the fact that you want to win this game, then like, I have there's no solid basis on which we can negotiate. And he's like, well, let's be honest, I don't have any way of winning this game. Now, if we look at it, there's some truth to that. You know, perhaps the main truth being that he's not that big, and he's pinned in by Pythium and TNG. So, yeah, that is a problem for sure. But there are ways he could do it. Like, Vanarus is now... where's Vanarus anyway? Vanarus is over here. So Vanarus also neighbors Pythium and TNG, which is not surprising. There's not that many land nations left. But basically, TNG and Pythium are both kind of locked up in a war with me, and then also having this stalemate on the this throne region over here. This, like, highly contested peninsula type thing. Or isthmus. So they're already kind of heavily committed on many fronts. If Vanarus and Shinuyama choose the same target to go after, then they potentially could gain a lot of ground. So either they both go after Pythium or they both go after TNG. They could potentially gain ground. And I was like, look, dude, if you were... Like, you have two capitals. You have Marignan, and you have your own capital. And you have a decent amount of land. I mean, you're decidedly not in a great place. Like, I don't think the odds are with you, but... let's say you do something that makes sense. Like, you attack somebody to take land that you think you can keep. And you're successful. You team up with Vanarus, y'all both make progress. And as you do this, in 20 turns, which the game won't be over by then, you'll be significantly bigger. Like, let's say you've eaten this much of TNG. If you've eaten this much of TNG, like something like this, like a significant portion, or maybe y'all switch, maybe you oscillate back and forth from both attacking TNG to both attacking Pythium, which that's kind of like very possibly a way the game could work. And then you eat some of this. Like, you are now in a position where you could win the game, depending how everything else flows out. I mean, it's also very possible that y'all both do that, and like TNG loses slowly a war against one of you, but wins more quickly a war against the other. In which case, yeah, you could kind of get screwed. But like, that would be playing to win. And I was like, if we can't talk about, like, if you can't even put it in your head that you have a way to play to win, then there's no point us negotiating, because then you're just like, I can't actually negotiate with you, because you're not really behaving like, there's no it's not, if you're not trying to win, like, there's nothing that's rational. Like, there's just many different ways to lose, and none of them are particularly any better than others, which I think that kind of ambivalence is what was making him, in my eyes, behave irrationally, is that he didn't see a way to win. So why I ended up giving up this province is that he said, okay, look, if I'm not going to sit here and do nothing. So if I make peace with you, then what that is also going to do is I'm going to go to war with one of these other guys, and that is of value to you, like to me. And it is. So he's like, not only are you not going to be spending whatever you're spending on fighting me, but your principal adversaries are now going to have to spend money on fighting me. So this province, which it is a good province, 140 income, and then 3 gems, one of which, I mean, they're my 2 favorite types of gems, water and astral. I mean, and it's not just like, obviously I would just give this province, but it's that in conjunction with a bunch of other stuff that I kind of wanted. Like, I'm paying him for this, like, there's a bunch of other things. So I think all in all, he's getting a very good deal, but he's getting it because it really does make sense for me to end the war with him. Especially if he's going to attack one of my principal adversaries. Anyway. So that is basically the Diplo with Shinuyama, and I think that, as much as anything, is going to represent a very big turning point in this war. Now here we're going to go ahead and storm this castle. Cast Poison Ward a few times. I don't really have enough gems to do it multiple times, but such is life. Concentrate our casters a little bit, so hopefully we get Poison Ward off on more of them, in case he does Foul Vapors. Maelstrom. This is a nice province to get. It's in this one. Kelp Fortress. 2 gems. Now, it is important we get these... We'll have to see. I think we need to send a message to Vanaru saying, hey buddy. Well, we'll see. I think I messaged him the turn before. But basically, he's not going to be able to get any more of the water. It's kind of what it is. Like, God, there's an unfound door, coral reef. There would be a pretty big incentive for me going after Vanarus. The only incentive for me not going after Vanarus is if he is actively engaged in fighting somebody else. Because, like, I would like to take this from him. So, anyway, we'll see. Wait, what was here? Were there 2 tarts? No. Oh, we already looked. It's this guy. Wait, okay. What are his resistances? Let's check after he buffs up. $29, $25. Shock weakness, so theoretically like 5 air elementals could kill him. Unfortunately, I'm not really an air nation. Fire's not gonna hurt him. Cold resistance, poison resistance, okay. A little high MR for 25 is kind of a lot for enslaved mind spam. I mean, we would probably get him, but don't know. But he's got shade mail too, so I think we're just gonna like arouse hunger him, or maybe not arouse hunger. I don't know what we'll do. Let's figure it out. So there's a few things going on. One is that now that we have peace, I probably need to redeploy some of my assets from over here to up here. Like, we need to start preparing to take this Relayan throne. I need to deal with this army. Now, he's probably going to start putting up... I think he's going to fort and move as he goes. I'm not sure. It's kind of a scary tart. What is this one? the bad thing about TNG having Gift of Health up is it's just going to be an abundance of tarts. And he's probably been just massing them out, and so now they're going to come out as, like, hordes of them. Because they probably have a ton of afflictions, and now that he has Gift of Health, he's going to spam them out. Fair amount of preaching, but our Dominion's not very high there. This is the thing, guys. If you're playing underwater and you're not doing this much preaching, then you're doing it wrong. This is the amount of preaching, and I've got Holy 3 and 12 Dominion strength, and I'm struggling, like freaking struggling. With a fair amount of forted temples underwater, struggling to keep my Dominion everywhere. Like, requiring very active preaching in forts and non-forts. We've got to move Siege Chaff on here. How much? What's our siege strength here? Siege strength here is 320. I think this is what? 400? And what's my siege strength here? 80? We might have to move, like, almost all these guys. Peter Wasp, this is my guy with my global. We're not going to have him leave home. What's this guy got? Leadership 55? Probably take almost everybody here. So, I think if I move everybody... Do we have any preachers here? No, we don't. I also asked him if I needed to move off to give him a turn to evacuate. Most of the people here are stealthy, so I think they're just going to sneak out. Or so he tells me. Okay, so these guys are all going to come over here. I think we'll go ahead and bring... You know, there could be just getting through all of the PD stuff. And in case somehow I get jebaited, I think we're going to still do Army of Gold. Though we probably will skip anti-magic. Or maybe we'll do Army of Lead. Be fine. I wish it would tell you when... This would be so nice if they would put like a little indicator up here of how much, like when you hit Y and you see everybody converging on a province, how much siege attack you have. But if we assume we're getting all the troops and they're most of this, let's call this... How much are each of these guys? They're almost nothing. They're 0.5. How much are these guys? 2.5. So... Now, let's say this is 280. And this guy is probably like 120. 280, 120 should be close to 400, but not overwhelmingly close. It's like, maybe I need to move this guy in with another 80. I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to move this guy in. Just pop this really quick. I do want to one-turn take this, because he's getting death income from it, too. Now my god can GTFO. Okay, we're casting... Yeah, I think we're gonna temple up and fort this border up. I think the days of Shinuyama raiding me are gonna be permanently over. need more mages here, too. Good, making mages. It's probably actually okay. Okay, we've got 4 months left on a rock wall here. Fording up is not, like, fording up underwater is not in any way a bad use of my time. Or money. Got one coming up here, 1 month left. So I probably should actually go and send this preacher here. We'll go ahead and build a temple next turn. Fording up tends to be pretty important late game. It's like you're mostly upkeep constrained, so like building troops just kind of... Building troops when you start getting really close to being upkeep constrained has diminishing returns. But forts are nice because they're going to protect your income. I say that, it depends. I mean, if you can expand by building troops, then you should do that. But if you're kind of in a stalemate, and troops aren't going to break you out of the stalemate, then yeah. The other nice thing about putting forts up is I can come in with, what do you call it? Atlas of Creation. I do want to fort this up too. Well, it's only 2. It's actually not that important. This hasn't really been growing either. I wonder, I thought I saw Mount Fiends here. I wonder if he's moved his Mount Fiend operation somewhere else. Later I'm gonna start nuking this stuff out of, like, from orbit, but for now... Actually, I think they're kind of high HP, I forget. I know I have Ictid somewhere. What are they? 15, 16 HP? Yeah, they might be a little out of range of flames from the sky. I think it is 14 AP damage. So it'd probably kill a lot of them, but I'd probably have to hit it with 3 things, like 2 flames from the sky and a murdering winter. Rather have Arcane Nexus up. Okay, let me pause. I'm gonna go ahead and think through what we're gonna do. Hey guys, okay, so I've kind of had the game paused and I've been thinking about things and clicking around and doing different stuff. But now I'm doing a little bit of Diplo. I've messaged Vanarus in Discord and just been asking him to... Well, to get... One second, let me get out of this. I was looking at movements, and I was thinking about taking this Golem and going down and taking this from Relay, but I realized after taking Fascia's Cap, this is a pretty likely move, this or this, with his army. And this army, because it's got... I went and checked it out. It's got this guy, and he's got Sea King's Goblet and a Manual of Water Breathing, which means he can take 150 dudes underwater, or 150 size of dudes. So these guys are size 3, so he can take 50 of them. And then plus, they're going to be able to take these underwater anyway, since they're poor amphibians. So this army's totally aquatic, so it can just walk underwater. and it's probably, I don't think it, I mean, it couldn't take the throne, I don't think, but these storm demons are probably going to be able to murder my golem. So if he moves here, and I don't know what he's doing, if it seems he's not giving up underwater ambitions, but we'll see. So if he wants to go underwater, the thing is, the more stuff that Vanarus has that is like either on islands or underwater, the more valuable he is as a war target to me. Like, the less stuff he has, see, that's the thing, is that if he doesn't have much, then it's not worth it for me. Like, the cost of war is high, and so it's not worth it for me to go to war, because there's not that much I'm gonna get from fighting him. But as he progressively has more, like if he were able to take all of this, then yeah, I would go to war with him, because I need all this shit underwater. So anyway, we need to, basically with this war with Relay winding down, he and I need to have kind of a Diplo talk where I see how he sees the game and what he wants to do. Yeah. Anyway. So we'll see, but in the meantime, if I can't get a hold of him, this golem is going to go, because he's pretty freaking quick, he's going to go march over here and take this. And we've got our dudes who are going to be raiding over here as well, with our little Lich Lord, who's stealthy. He shouldn't have too much trouble raiding here. Anyway, that'll be nice. We'll get both of these. So I was sending a message... I was going to send a message to Vanarus. Now I'm sending a message to... Wait, was this the message to Vanarus? Who was I sending that message to? Now this is to Pythium. So to Pythium, I've been doing some Diplo, and I'm saying, okay, so Tianchi is getting Gift of Health back, which is bad news, because even with you, Pythium, controlling it, he, Tianchi, has been getting like 5 times more tarts against me. 1 second. Than you ever did. What this means to me is that he's casting tarts without being able to heal their afflictions and just using gift of reasoning the non-afflicted ones. This isn't very efficient normally, so I was wondering why he was doing it. Well, now I know. He was building up a stockpile of tarts, knowing that one day he would steal Gift of Health from you again, and then they would all get healed. So this is the world we find ourselves in. And since well, I don't want to say that. I was going to say, since I currently am the only one fighting him, that's actually kind of more annoying for me than anyone else. But anything that's bad for me, Pythium interprets as good news. I wonder if you had come to the same conclusion. But possibly you didn't have intel on the sheer number of tarts that TC had, even without controlling Gift of Health. What are your plans? I could trade nature if you wish to take it back. Okay, now this is a mess. Like, I'm offering to help give him gems to take a global, and this is somebody I'm currently, like, in a rather desperate struggle against, and who is a large player. So anyway, just a funny kind of feature of this game is that you're often still negotiating with your enemies. So I don't know if we covered. Did we cover it? I've been through all the siege strength. I think I have here enough to one-turn pop it. Should be good. Yeah, I think we've talked about that. The things I need to figure out. So we've got this rating going on here. This guy's almost definitely going to sneak out. So we need some way to kind of zap that province. And I'm not sure which way we're going to use. Graveyard of the Damned. That would be kind of a nice site. I'm not sure what we have here. I do want to raid these two. This guy had stealth too, if I recall. So I gotta figure out what we're gonna do here. If they're stealthy, I can magic phase attack it and probably not even bump into them. And then if he moves normal troops in, we'll at least have controlled the province and taken out their PD. And there's a chance we'll kill whoever he has reinforcing the province. Guess he caught our scout with some wolves. This actually would be a decent raiding target. He's got a fair amount invested there. And I bet you with... Well, it's kind of a long way to move through enemy territory. Yeah, 40, that's going to be hard for me to get. I mean, I could teleport on there. That does beg the question, do I have flesh? I have a flesh eater, which I think is one of the kind of key ingredients in this all working. Because yeah, we would pretty easily murder this, I think. It's a lot of guys. Honestly, that would be a perfect golem target. Which I'm going to have a lot of, but I don't have a lot of right now. I want to see how close we are to okay, we can teleport here. If he moves the big army here, we can teleport our god here next turn. Do mass enslave. Kind of don't want him dying again, though. But I've only got a few turns left to use him. Before I'm going to have Nexus on him, and then I'm not going to want him out anymore. I've probably been saying that for like six episodes. Oh, we've got this teleporting squad, too? I feel like they could do some good damage. Moving here with teleporters is pretty dangerous, though. How many Rings of Returning do we have? We have 3, though. I could put Rings of Returning on. I have 4. I don't think any of these guys are stealthy, which means I'm probably going to catch them. No stealthy dudes. Now, one thing I thought about was moving this army here and having like an intentional bump with Vanarus. Because I'm pretty darn sure I would win that. Let's take a look real quick at these Storm Demons. I don't know how they work underwater. I know flying doesn't work underwater. I mean, I don't think this would work underwater, the lightning, but you never know. Does it say? I don't think so. I don't think it does. It's actually maybe worth testing. If I just have to fight them in melee, it won't be that bad, especially if I have water elementals. But if I have to take lightning volleys in front of chaff, that would kind of be a problem. But I'm gonna have to figure it out. If I don't hear back from the Vanarus player, very possible I find some minimum crew that I think can take the fort, and I like send the army in with the minimal crew, and then everybody else I send here to take this from Vanarus and possibly kill his army, which would be a nice way to, without actually having to go to war, just letting him know that he's not going to win underwater. Because underwater, his guys are going to have pretty bad stats. Like, if we look at it, basically they're all going to have the poor amphibian bonus, which is going to be CS minus half, attack, defense minus 3, encumbrance plus 1, which is pretty bad. And if lightning doesn't work, then they're just going to be hitting like every so often, like with this attack, like one attack Thunder Fist, which is a good, you know, it's going to deal a fair amount of damage, but not that much, because they're hardly ever going to be hitting, especially if I buff up my defense. And it doesn't look like he has. Oh no, this guy is probably going to cast Darkness. So okay, with Darkness, well, my guys have Dark Vision too, so not full Dark Vision, but yeah, might kind of work itself out. I might need Will of Fates, which I should have actually. So that's definitely an option, is moving these guys here, anticipating this attacks, storming. How would I even do that? We'll kind of play that out real quick. Now, most of these poison resistance isn't going to be terribly helpful here. Like, if we just had this guy, well, he's pretty damn useful. I don't have a lot of sacred, so I don't really need the Holy 3. Let's test real quick and see if it works underwater. Just pull up one of my test games. Whoops. You can see I've got a few that I've set up. Like, every time you see a test game with Atlantis, it's probably a test game I set up to test something about how Atlantis would work in this current game we're playing. So, I've actually used this in some of my other guide videos and stuff, these test games. Okay, we have Storm Demons. So now we just have to make sure our Storm Demons can go underwater. Okay. So if you go over here, let's give you the Sea King's Goblet. Okay, now come underwater. Perfect. Fire. And then with yes. Okay, whatever. Okay. Let's see, do they fire lightning? What are these guys' stats underwater? Do they fire? Oh, they still do lightning. Holy shit. That's actually crazy. Actually crazy. Which means we're gonna need shock resistance. Now they can't do storm, and their attack skill sucks. But they can shoot. That's actually nuts. Yo, okay. Well, that's definitely going to change how this underwater shit is going to go. You know, maybe Vanarus knows this. Maybe, I'm sure he does. He's sent this guy's underwater. Maybe he knows. Maybe he thinks he could take me on underwater if he's got storm demons. Now, a reason he wouldn't is because I can do ground army, which I think in this case will be much more important than army of lead. So we could do something like that. And if we have that and life after death. The problem is, if he has any significant army here, we could kind of be fucked. Do I have mass protection? This guy can do mass protection instead, because we don't have really much fire magic. He can do like personal regen and then that. And now if these guys all come over here, now we're risking a lot to do this, because potentially I probably want these guys at the very back too. It's kind of weird. What is this effect right here? Very weird. Nobody... Well, this guy... Oh, it's his experience stars is what it is. Okay. I was like, what is that? It's his 3 experience stars. Okay, so if we do Wheel of Fates, and we have Ground Army, and we have Mass Protection, pretty sure we can handle it, even with Darkness up. Though I think we probably want a pretty early... Because if we're going to be in melee, and then also speed's going to matter, because he's basically got archers underwater, so friendly currents will be pretty important. But maybe we do something like living water, friendly currents. And there's a decent chance none of this is going to matter because he doesn't actually send anybody here. I think for this one, Power of Spheres and then Will of Fates. I think it'll give me less total fatigue, and then I'll be more useful after it's over. Yeah, I feel pretty good about this. With Ground Army and Mass Protection, we should be pretty much resistant to all of his shit. Even things like Charged Body won't be as bad. I really would like to have... Now, if we look at who's staying here... I mean, he hasn't really had any significant defense. But I have no idea what he's got. Let's actually go back in time a few turns. And let's see what he had before I put it under siege. Last turn it wasn't cracked, but turn before, I think it would have been this turn. So if we take a look... Oh wait, we don't even see it. It would have been 1 and 2. Okay, we see all the adjacent provinces, and we see this one, which means there's nothing in here. There's a few risks. We could get our guy sniped. I mean, like our leader sniped. Like, sending only one leader into fight relay is a bad idea. So maybe we send 2. It's kind of what I'm thinking now. Like, have somebody do friendly currents or something. Like, it could be this guy. And then also having him on... Like, having these 2 guys storm the castle. Like, have this guy right up here. And then have him do... friendly currents. Advance and cast spells. He'll cast Liquefy on anybody. That'll be good, because now... He'll be pretty good with the Liquefy of clearing up, like, the gate entrance if we get all jammed up there. So I feel okay about that. And then if we have a battle here with Van Roos... Living water, friendly currents... Oh, wait, we already have friendly currents, because this guy's got it on his thing. So what would I do if I have one more... Oh, we could do demonic cleansing too. We'll just murder his demons. I don't really know if it's needed, but it would be hilarious. Yeah. Actually, I'm pretty well suited. If I can do demonic cleansing every fight to fight him underwater. I could well, no. I was gonna say I might even be able to do foul vapors, but no, I don't think it would be enough. Because I think this works on all attacks, like even poison. I mean, maybe we wave warriors. Maybe, I mean, because we're going to be going through an entrance. So if we've already got friendly currents, I guess we could just do a couple, do wave warriors. That'd be pretty good. What is it here? 5 is not that much. Oh, there's got to be a better buff I can do with water. Quickness could be good. Or quickening. And I could probably also give him 2 gems and he could do 2 casts of quickening. Like that. And that would hit 18 squares, which would be a lot of these. It would be like 30 of these guys. Oh, and it's plus, so it's gonna be, it's only 2 to cast, and we're gonna be water 7, so we're gonna get a bonus of 5. So it's going to be area of effect 14, which is like 30 dudes. So we might even, we'll be able to get like almost probably at least half probably these guys quickened. So they should tear up that fortress. Here, I want mass protection to go off after. So what is this? This is 150 casting time. It's 125. So it would go off before. second. We're not really worried about gen invaders here. Let's go ahead and move this forward. Ooh, Frozen Heart could be good. I mean, School of Sharks should be good. Living Water, nice. Okay, this guy is set up to not have Shark Attack baited. But I'm actually less concerned about that. We do have Shark Attack going off. And we have Living Waters, a few normal water elementals. That should tear through his guys if they get hit by ground. I think I want them to get... Okay, they are going to get hit by ground army. So they're going to get summoned almost immediately buffed up with mass protection and ground army. Grip of Winter I don't really care about. Yeah, I think this will work. Now, if this doesn't work, I'm in some shit, because this is one of my major armies in the region. Let's just take a look at this again. That's a lot of Storm Teammates, and I don't have Magic Attack. Now, he doesn't really have any way to buff them up, so it's only going to be a 12 lightning damage attack. The shock, the area of effect shock, we're going to negate. Because of ground army. The range is 40, which means I'm probably going to have to walk forward, I think, to hit my back row. Still a lot of damage. And it's armor negating. It's going to be like armor negating 7. But we're going to have Will of Fates. The real danger is if it targets my mages, we're kind of fucked. And it might be able to kill my water elementals with that many of them. So I am pretty worried. Pretty worried. I think I don't need this many guys here. I think we have to send some of these down with these guys. So we've got 60 guys who are going to get buffed up with... Almost all these guys should get hit by Quickening. Or not all, but yeah, a lot of them. Then over here, we've got these guys who are on hold and attack rear. I want them, I think, here. I want the water elementals to be able to run through. And then these guys to run forward. I think that will work. I mean, I'm worried. You can tell I'm worried. So I think in terms of macro, I'm gonna probably refine this. We're gonna end this episode pretty much right now, and I'm gonna finish playing out the turn. And I might, no, I think it's gonna be it. You'll just see me again next episode. But macro, we're gonna get this fort. We're gonna prepare our god to teleport here and hopefully enslave an army. I don't think we're gonna destroy these forts. This one I might have to. I may do some attacks on some of his tarts that I haven't scripted yet. But I'm probably gonna do another gateway or astral travel and get one of my armies in position to take this. Who gets the rest of this lake is going to be probably my most important next objective now that I've made peace with Shinuyama. And I want to get it quickly and get my dominions spread. And I think the goal is to prevent Tianqi from taking as much of this stuff as quickly as I can. But what I expect he's going to do is to fort this up with Living Castle. Which does mean a magic phase attack here could be very, very good. Because I'm expecting, or Living Walls, or whatever it's called. Not Living Walls. Wizard Tower. Problem is it's cold and I'm not going to get my normal... If I had normal water elementals, it'd be a lot better. But I'm going to have to fight with... Shit, water elementals. This guy's flying too. Be very tricky trying to kill him. Mr. Hands could, but we'll see. What's probably going to happen, this whole area is going to get forted up. Oh, man. I'm on a back foot. I don't want to lose over here, though. That's more important than winning. I just don't want to lose ground until I have Nexus up. So we'll have to see. I've got this teleport goon squad here. We're going to send them somewhere. I'm not sure where. I would like to keep raiding, too. Raiding is not very cost efficient. Like, the income I'm getting from taking the forts is nothing compared to what I'm losing. Though potentially, I think I've got the kit to do it okay. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. But, yeah. Primary mission 1 is take the rest of the lake and hopefully settle on good terms with Vanarus so that he and I aren't at war, but that I have most of the lake. Mission number 2 is get Arcane Nexus up. Which, if we do the math, we're getting pretty freaking close. We're at 320, and we need to be at... probably, the more I've been thinking about it, the more I think I need like almost 1,200 gems in it. Which I can do, but it's gonna be a while. I mean, my pearl income's 54. And yeah, my total other gem income, I mean, my total other gem inventory, I guess is the right word, is we're at like 500 here, 600, and then just call this 400, so we're at 1,000, so we're at 500 if we alchemize our other gems, so we're at 800 basically pearls, effective pearls. And I think we need 1,200. Now, one thing I am going to offer to Pythium, of course, is that if I will trade him nature for pearls. So we'll see. We'll see. But if I did that, like if I were able to trade like 2 or 3, like ideally I trade all these for pearls. If I were able to do that, Pythium is not going to want to trade pearls, but if he does, we'll be in good shape. If I were able to do that, I would be ready to cast it very, very soon, like within a turn or two. So that would be the great Jedi move of the game, if I get Pythium to trade me like 250 pearls for 250 nature. Oh, that would be really good. Anyway, we'll see. So I think the game is looking up for me, and that I've gotten out of a very unprofitable war. I'm gaining territory. I'm the biggest player on the map. I'm losing one of my fronts of the war, and then another front I'm winning less, but I think that's okay. If we go and take a quick look at score graphs, you can see the province count, we're still okay. We're the highest we've ever been. This is pretty good. I mean, you're always going to have your little downs, which is kind of what we had this turn. We lost some territory. Like here we had downs, here we had downs. But, you know, if you're the CEO of a company, this is a good stock price graph. pretty much we lost our first fort. Now this is one thing that is significant. This is the first fort I've lost the whole game. So this does carry significance. Like, losing, this is not, like, we have times where we were flat, where we didn't gain in forts, or we weren't taking enemy forts. But this is the first time in the game we've lost a fort. And that means that, and it wasn't like an accident. I mean, it was just blunt force trauma, basically, from TNG. He just pushed his way through me. So this is actually, I mean, it's a significant event. And we're not very happy about it, but what are we going to do? Income, we're looking okay. Gym income, looking okay. Research, we've been leveled out for a while. Dominion. Dominion is a very important graph for us, and it's just barely eking up. But I bet the next person Dominion's like TNG is probably like right here, if I had to guess. Army size, we're okay. Though a fair amount of this is chaff actually now, because we've actually got a decent kind of, with our vampires and our reanimation, we actually have decent chaff production now, which is going to be important for winning this war against TNG. I think a lot of these wolves, I'm actually not sure he's getting all the hybrids, but oh, that's something we haven't done that we need to do. I do need to nuke. Well, thing is, if he moves these guys here and I can mass enslave them, I don't really want to nuke them. We'll have to see. I know I was also talking, did I get Boots of Quickening? Or I mean Boots of the Plains? I did. So this actually is pretty important. I've got two really important artifacts. And if I wish for the harmonica, which in theory I could do next turn if I really wanted to, I could have a very scary horror harmonica golem. I don't really understand all the mechanics behind that, though. What's our... I'm going to check one thing real quick. So we're at 50 pearls a turn. We're basically 400 pearls away from being able to get it to happen. And if you look at our total income, it's 50 pearls... plus everything else combined is, let's see, 50, then what, 120, and then 150, 180, 210, or we'll say like 220. It's probably not quite 220. Now, there's no way I'm going to not do anything with my gems, so let's just say it's 200 extra gems plus 50. I cannot spend any pearls. Just about. So, it's like 150 pearls a turn if I alchemize. So it's only really 3 turns away. We can potentially drop Nexus. That's close, guys. That's close. There's a lot of guys here. It'll be very funny to just mass enslave them all. Honestly, these hybrids and stuff. It's actually a liability having this much shit. And his guys aren't super high MR, I don't think. I know the hybrids aren't. I can check. But anyway. It's been good, guys. It's been a long episode. I still got a lot of this turn left to do. So I'll see y'all guys next time. Y'all guys, I'll see y'all next time.